Om Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. It is the usual salutation in Ramana Maharshi Ashram. In this ashram, in Tiruvannamalai, which is a real holy city, and near Arunachala, this also holy mount, we meet a real sadhak and also maybe a saint, Swami Shantananda Puri. He is in 76 years old. He is also a direct disciple of Swami Guru Shantananda, who is a grand disciple of the great saint of the 19th century, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Swamiji, we are really very happy to meet you and discuss a little bit with you about your sadhana, about your roots, why you are there, and many other stories. You are an author. You have many books. We saw here 4 of your books. So let us start by summarizing a little bit about your books. Which of these 4 books was the first? And for everyone, if you can summarize by a few words about topics, etc.
Firstly, I am not the author is the Lord. He used my hand only. And the latest of the books is that stories for meditation, which contains a collection of some beautiful, uncommon stories about the greatness and glory of the Lord, and how in our normal life we shall be able to establish our relationship with the highest divinity, and how it can help us in our day-to-day life. This has been illustrated in several of the stories over here. The stories have been collected from various authors like Count Leo Tolstoy, the great Osho, and there is one Swami Akhandananda Saraswati, and there was Yogi Aurobindo. So from all those sources I have culled out whatever stories I have heard. See, this is all written inside a silence room where I had no reference books. Just from my memory I wrote them all because they are such beautiful stories. And
the other one?
The earlier tweet, the book was called Jivan Mukta. Who is a Jivan Mukta? See, the entire world is full of strife, conflicts, sorrows, happiness, miseries, troubles, worries, tensions. So the one who gets out of all these things, who transcends ever, who never gets any problems at all in life, and not only that, whoever goes to him and spends some time with him, he can be guided to the same path. Such people who get their salvation while alive, their liberation while alive, that is the greatest of saints, they are known as Jivan Muktas. So we have written how we can recognize a Jivan Mukta, and what types of Jivan Muktas are there, how to become a Jivan Mukta. So on these issues, this book, based on scriptural authorities, this book has been written. There is nothing of mine. All the substance is all culled out from the various Vedas and Upanishads.
The third one is Fragrant Flowers.
And the next one, which was earlier to Jivan Mukta, was the quantum leap into the absolute, or the essence of Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra Gita is perhaps one of the greatest of philosophy. I wouldn't even call it as Advaita philosophy, even though it is, but it is a philosophy which transcends all philosophies. Nowhere you will get the word God in it, but the entire thing is about that supreme consciousness, and these are in the form of conversation between 2 great sages. It is a book of 700 verses. I have just given a summary of it so that people should be enthused. It should be interesting enough to make them go to the original and read so that they could practice it. Here there is not much of a practice. This simply says no action is needed, nothing is needed. It is your mind which creates all the trouble. Go to a stage where you are thoughtless, remain idle, remain quiet, think of nothing. if you observe your mind for a few minutes, after a few days, the mind will stop its dance and the mind will completely stop. Mind is only a conglomeration of thought. There is nothing called a mind. So all thoughts will cease. And that is a beautiful stage from which you can leap into the ultimate reality, which is in a region far beyond all regions. The dimension itself is something different. You see, from waking state, when you go to the dream state, how do you go? You are not aware of it. You are composing words of sleep, suddenly you begin to see dreams. So you have been catapulted. You have just made a leap into a different dimension. This is something like that, but it is far beyond all the dimensions. And it gives us several methods. I'll call it as moksha capsules, instant capsules. See, everybody wants instant food, instant coffee. So how to get instant bliss? What are the methods? So these are enumerated. I've just given a small, brief summary of it in that book.
And the first one?
And that book is also being, has been translated to French. It is being published in Paris, I am told, by some gentleman took it on him. He is a disciple of Ma Anandamayi, who was a very famous saint in the north. And the earlier to it comes the book Fragrant Flowers. Fragrant Flowers contain my reminiscences of the various saints I have come across in my life, and because of whose influence I am today what I am.
Sure.
And what all progress I have made in spirituality, it is all due to the blessings and the vibrations I had by my meeting with such very great souls who are all the greatest of saints. And incidentally, as it gives how I met my own guru, how I came into his contacts, and all these things, it is almost like an autobiography to a large extent, even though it doesn't begin I was born such as a date, but it is almost autobiographical, containing my progress in spirituality, where I was and how I made my progress and where I have come.
Can you tell us a little bit about your own guru?
My guru, Purushothamananda, he belonged to Kerala. From the age of 16, he was interested in scriptures and religious books. He used to read, not only himself, he will go to the houses of people over there and read for them for a little while, and they were all very happy about him. Later on, he joined one of the Ramakrishna monasteries in the south, in Kerala, where one of the direct disciples of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was heading. So under him he was trained, but he didn't give him initiation. He said, look here, my Gurudev Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is no longer here, but his first disciple, Brahmananda, who was one of the greatest of all the disciples he ever had, and a very high level saint, who was always in the supreme state of ecstasy. He is coming over here. I am a river, he is an ocean. So I will get you the initiation from such a great personality. So when he went to the south on a tour, Brahmananda, he was the first president of the Ramakrishna mission, which was set up after the Samadhi of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So he gave him initiation and he was taken to Belur Mutt near Calcutta, the headquarters of Ramakrishna mission, where he served for a little while. And after the initiation, when he went there from his successor of Brahmananda, because Brahmananda died in 1920 or so. So in 1921 or 22, from his successor, who was another direct disciple, he got his sannyas. But the one who gives the mantra or the diksha is considered as the Guru.
How you yourself, you met him, and how you recognized that he will be your master?
You see, I was in search of, because 1950, when I was first posted in the government service in the north, I came across the book, The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. And that book entranced me so much. It was in such a simple language. And on seeing that, that was my first guru, I should say, because I began to do some meditation myself. And as it was told there, it is necessary for one to go from time to time and seek the company of great men, saints, and spiritual people. Then I came to know about one Shivananda of Rishikesh, so I happened to go to Rishikesh. And Several times I was going
You
to
meet
him.
Swami Shivananda in Rishikesh?
Yes, I was with him for nearly 4 years. From time to time I used to go to him. He was very happy with me. In 1952 he asked me, well, would you like to become a Swamiji? I shall shave your head off. I said, no Swamiji, please, please. I got a lot of house responsibilities. Please don't make me a monk. I am not fit for it.
You felt that you are not ready at this moment to
At
be a
that
monk?
moment I was not ready at all.
Achha.
So, but then by that time,
But
I
you
had
recognized that Swami Shivananda...
yes, he was a real soul, he was a great person, and all appreciation, but you know, I had earlier, after reading the book on Ramakrishna, I have made a promise to myself, if ever I get a guru, it should be from the Ramakrishna's lineage.
Achha.
And number two, he should be one who should never have a big ashram, who should never have a paraphernalia or Swamijis, who should never have a bank account or money in his hand, who should live from day to day, and who should be able to go into the ecstatic state.
So you felt that Swami Shivananda is not your teacher?
Was very great, but I felt that he was not for me.
Achha.
You
So
know,
how
the
you
greatest
with
appreciation.
your
Then,
own...
then the 6th or the 8th or the 10th time when I was coming over there during some holidays, I was placed at Meerut or Delhi in those days. Then somebody who was with me, he said, just we were talking, he said, sure, we have been going so many times to Shivananda, this time I'll take you to another saint, one Purushothamananda in a cave. I said, yes.
Also near Rishikesh.
Near Rishikesh, about 22 kilometers from there. So he took me there for the first time, and the moment I saw him, it was love at first sight. He was
From the first moment you
he was about
recognized...
78 years old or so, but just the moment I saw, I said, here, I never even knew whether he was from Ramakrishna's lineage. I never knew anything. The moment I saw, first thing was he said, hey, is it not that you had known me in 1952 itself and you are coming so late here? Yes, it was a fact. I read about him in a journal by Shivananda in an article that even today there are very real souls who had mentioned his name.
So he recognized that you already know
He
him.
knew about it.
Achha.
So that shocked me, because a man who is living somewhere in a remote place,
Yeah, and he felt that you know him before.
he told me the exact year when I had known him.
Achha.
And he laughed wildly like a child.
Ah.
He didn't reply an answer. He only wanted to shock me.
Yeah, yeah. And from this first
From
meeting...
this itself I knew, well, here is the one. Then after about 1 year, when I read his biography, which was written by somebody,
Achha.
I came to know that he was from Ramakrishna's lineage.
Achha.
And then I didn't know whether he could go into that what is called the superconscious state, that ecstatic state where externally there is no sign of life even.
Achha.
So I was just thinking about it after reading his biography. Suddenly somebody came and said, hey, Swamiji calls you. When I went to him, he said, you bring that book, there's a big book. It was an Upanishad.
Yeah.
He said, hey, read that page. I was reading it. That page starts with saying, the heading is called the indweller.
Yeah.
It states the one who is very much in the eye, who is the creator of the eye, who is making that eye activate and see things, but whom the eye has never seen. The one who is in the ears of all, the one who makes the ears function, the one who controls the ears, but whom the ears have never heard. Like that the entire thing started.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful, poetic. I was so taken up. About 2 pages. The moment I finished, I looked at him to see whether I should go to the next chapter or not. I found him in that ecstatic state, absolutely still, with his mouth slightly open. I said, here is that one. So all the conditions were fulfilled.
How many years times you spent with your master?
See, 1956 end, I went to him. 57, 58, 59, 1960 March.
Yeah.
So 60 March I was transferred out to another part of India, so I couldn't come. I was in Pune. So I was in government service.
Achha.
So I was transferred over there. So 1960 March was the last I saw him. 1961 February he left his body. So till that time I was coming very often, every month, at least twice. Every Saturday, Sunday from Delhi I will just, the night I will travel, morning I will be there, Sunday night I will go back and join my office.
Achha. But why you didn't take sannyasi from him?
Because I was thinking that he will give me. 1959, suddenly one day he was coming down with me from his staircase. There is nobody else. So I said, hey, you are not fit to be a monk now. But in my ego, I was thinking that if there is one man fit in the world, that is myself. So the moment he told that, my ego was wounded.
Yeah.
I said, what sort of a man is he? He doesn't know me. That's what he thought.
So what he requested?
Then he said, look here, you have the destiny of leading a married life. You should know what is that too, and then get out. So you will marry early. And
what it was your age at this time?
It was 1956, means 28 years.
28 years.
28 years. 30. So when this happened, 28 years, I went to him.
So he requested you
31. To... He said, he just, come on, no request. He said, hey, you have to marry. So marry early, don't worry, one day you will get it. This he added a little later. Because I couldn't stand his words, I sat down there. Took off his hand from my shoulders, I sat there. We went down from there, he looked at me. Hey, why are you worried? You will get that also. Exactly, the next year I was married. 32 years of married life.
32 years?
32 years.
Married life.
But during that time I was doing the sadhana also.
Yeah.
Then...
And you get a child from your marriage?
Yes, I got it. I was in Tanzania, in East Africa for a period of 5 years. The government sent me. I was led to the government. So there the child was born. And mysteriously it survived a disease on the 10th day of its being born. That too by my Gurudev's orders. It happened. Everything is mentioned in this book very clearly.
But after your 30 years of marriage, you...
Suddenly one day, from inside came, yes, it is time. Our son is getting graduated this year from engineering, so everything is there. So the Lord, you commend them to the God and you leave. What are you doing now still? So suddenly I woke up, the same day I burnt off all my certificates, all my qualifications, everything I burnt off, gave off my books.
What it was your age?
I was, it was 1991, I was 63 beginning. 62 years.
But you don't feel that it will be like escape from responsibility?
There was nothing, because there is nothing, I had nothing to respond, because whatever money I had, everything was given. I took barely 300 rupees just as a fare to come to this thing. Everything was left to them. They were all out. On that day I just left a small treat, thanking them.
Without asking your wife that you will do like
who will garland you and send you and say tata and these things? Nobody would like to. In India especially, nobody would like their husband to get out of their control.
So on your own, you don't think...
The boy was in the final year, he was studying near Calcutta in the Institute of Technology. So only she was alone. And she had gone out for some lectures somewhere at Madras at that time. I was at Bangalore. So I just suddenly, when this happened, suddenly I left.
You left suddenly, without any contact?
Absolutely nothing afterwards.
And you have contact her or your also son after?
No. What happened was in 1993, beginning, the boy came over there for a day, but I was to leave. So the next day I left, he was in another room. That's all. He was there for a day and he left. Because earlier, as a boy, he used to come to me very often. Because every year I was going to all these ashrams, staying for 1 month.
This moment you haven't at all any contact with your son?
No contact since 93, not even contact, no news.
No news?
Yes.
It's not hard for them and for you to be like that, completely disconnected from them?
Is it not going to be hard if I had died 20 years earlier? What would they have done?
Because at least a contact to tell them that you are still alive, maybe you have some message for them.
Look here, what would they have done if I had died in my 50th year? Well, let them do
you are
that.
still alive, no, we cannot suppose like that.
That doesn't matter at all. After all, it is the same. You see, I have done my work. After all, there should be a day when the worldly response should be over. You have to become 100% totally devoted to the highest, because then you not only do your responsibility to one small family, now I am linked to the entire family of the world, whoever comes, whoever seeks. So many people, at least they may get a solace, and many of them by their own faith perhaps.
And there is no temptation or idea from time to time, at least to get some news about them?
Absolutely not. The Lord has so totally occupied me. Even when you are asking, It looks that as if you are asking me about Queen Elizabeth in UK. I don't know. I got nothing to do with her.
Okay, so we'll take other topics in one of questions. Swamiji, why you are there in Ramana Maharshi Ashram? What is the job what you are doing?
The job I am doing is nothing. You may call it as sadhana. See, doing nothing is my sadhana, because I am here. Number one, he was one of the greatest and the most unique saints. Once in several thousands of years, one such saints come. See, in the scriptures, there are various levels of sadhus or sannyasins or monks. The highest level is one who has absolutely, who doesn't belong to any ism, any caste consideration. He is alike to all, from the smallest to worm to the highest to God. He looks alike to all of them. See, that time in Sanskrit is called Ativarnashrami, the one who is beyond all the rules and regulations and laws which normally the scriptures prescribe for the other people. He is beyond it all. Such people come in one man in several thousands of years. He is perhaps the fourth or the fifth in the last 5,000 years.
And Ramana Maharshi?
And Ramana Maharshi. Absolutely in silence he used to talk. Absolute silence. And people get the vibrations and problems solved in his very presence. Paul Brenton, the great journalist from UK, when he came for the first time, he came with several questions. He wrote it down. And when he came, he was sitting in silence. He thought, oh, now I shouldn't disturb him, some silence over. And while sitting, he was revising the questions. First question he read, he got the answer in the mind. Second question, he got the answer. All the 20 questions, he got the answer in his mind. And he thought he knew them all earlier. Suddenly, he broke his silence and asked him in Tamil, hey, this much, or have you got more to be answered? Ivlavadana in Tamil.
But this moment,
only this much.
Ramana Maharshi is not there. So what is the use, what is the benefit to be there and the master is not there?
See, they had reached a stage where they are not the bodies. So, whether the body is there or not, their vibrations, their, what you may call, their very presence is still there. It continues.
How do you feel this presence?
It's very difficult to say, because the feeling of the presence is something which you know inside. If you ask me, what is meant by the sweetness of sugar? How sweet is sugar? You can't reply. So you'll have to experience it. That is the only way to know. But see, you know pretty well at that time that he is very much there with you at all times. And there are people whose problems have been solved by just coming over here and just praying to him. And in my case, that's the basic energy. Because whenever a saint leaves his body, his vital force which was there, the kinetic energy, which has come out as a quantum from the total energy of that absolute, whom we may call as God, after all, that energy cannot die. It gets absorbed in the very earth. And for a long time to come, whoever comes, it benefits them in their path. If somebody is materialistic, if somebody wants a lot of wealth, he will get it. If somebody wants health, he will get it. If somebody wants devotion to the Lord, he will get it. So it's a basic energy which helps them in whatever way they want.
So what is your case? What you want and what you have already got?
I never wanted anything. But by coming here, well, my bliss is full. It is not that it was less anywhere. But, you know, why at all you come, it's difficult to say. There is something called a destiny, because the entire life is a dream. It's a drama which has been conceived by the cosmic being long back. So under that he has sent me. Wherever he sends me, I am prepared to go. He sent me here, I came. I was to have gone back on 9th of September. Suddenly, first week of July, I get an inner voice, the inner command of Bhagavan, saying that, even though I never heard his voice, but something tells me it is the voice of Bhagavan. So he says, hey, from 15th of July you'll be here on absolute silence. And for full 1 year, you won't move out of Thiruvannamalai. So, this is not my choice. So something else is leading this body. So I'm just following it. I'm happy that it's all as it is. I have no desires. But I lack in nothing.
Swamiji, we know that you keep silence for long times. What is the part or the role of silence in your sadhana?
See, what happens is, it is because the mind says that I am the body. When somebody says, who is Dr. Saliba? He means this particular person with this personality and with this body only. It is not so. Saliba is not the body. He is a spark, a divine spark from that totality of the highest light, whom we may call as God, whom we call as the only reality. So it is that spark. So that spark can never extinguish. It is a continuous spark which will live as long as that ultimate fire lives. It has got its continuous link.
I want to ask you another question. You have already a master, and you have already cited and quoted many other masters like Ramanaji. Just in this book, you quote also Osho and you quote Sri Aurobindo. What is the difference in relation between your relation with your own master and your relation with other masters?
Number one, I don't consider myself as a master at all. I don't know what I am nothing.
Yeah, but your relation with your master.
See, what happens is, my relation with my master is special in the sense, supposing there is a lady who marries and goes to her husband's house, father-in-law, mother-in-law, everybody is there. She serves everybody with love, but she has a special relation with her husband. So in a similar way, I bow to all the masters of the world, irrespective of whether he is a Sufi, whether he is a Muslim saint, whether he is a Christian saint, whether it is Ignatius Lila, whether it is whoever it is, Saint Augustine. So I got equal love, equal regard, equal veneration for all the saints of the world who were ever born and who will be born too. But my relationship with him is special because there is a thanksgiving for all he has done in a subtle manner to bring me up, to push me up.
But what is actually your relation with your master after that he passed away?
See, the relationship was, no doubt, where, see, nobody can give you that ultimate knowledge of the reality. They only create circumstances in which, where you will be able to realize it yourself, because ultimately there is nothing to be obtained from outside. It's all in you, it is inside. And we are all miserable because we are all trying to find it outside the happiness. God is love, God is happiness. He is inside us, all happiness is inside. You are only superimposed on thinking, oh, this will give me happiness, this will give me happiness. You won't get it, it's only a small drop. So the entire reservoir of infinite perennial happiness is inside us. So as such, the one who has given me this knowledge, because of whom I have progressed and I am today in absolute happiness, I am never in misery. My body may have troubles, my body may have arthritis, may have spondylosis, may have anything, may have pain.
But is he still present?
He is still
which kind of
present. As I told you, all these things, when once they have linked with the ultimate, they are still remaining as these parts. See, just as the sun and the rays. So what is the relationship? But the rays leave. But here the rays continue along with that sun itself. The sun is that supreme cosmic being, that supreme consciousness. So they're all very much there. The presence of those rays are there. Because through these rays only you are looking at that highest cosmic being. So you look at the rays and you look at the cosmic being, you know that you are one with all those things because you are also part of those rays. Those rays have divinized us also. So you know that however small we may be, we are all part of those rays. So as with the relationship is between one ray to another ray. I got nothing, I got no powers, I got no special mystic powers, I have nothing. No. So I have got absolutely no desires in any aspect for the other man to reach the God. Because it has to be according to his constitutional temperament. He got his own path. And so each one is great in his own way, so you cannot compare their teachings.
No, don't compare.
In fact, I have found women progress more quickly In India, I have seen at least. And even some of the foreign women who have come here, who have lived here for some time, I come into contact with some of them. I would say that tenacity of purpose is very great. And they do progress much more quickly. And another thing is, they are more emotional. They are more emotional than men. So the emotional approach of devotion to the Lord, loving Him absolutely, is more easy for them than for you and I.
So my second question is about masters you have already met, like Swami Shivananda, like Anandamayi, like Chidananda.
See, each one had his own way, and each way appealed to me at that time. But I was always adhering to my own path, because I can't leave one path and go to different paths.
What it was, for example, your impression with Swami Shivananda?
Shivananda was a great giant of a man. The spirituality was a great giant.
Yeah.
I knew about him. He had done a lot of sadhana in his earlier days, and his love for humanity was immense. And he was a real sadhu in the sense he never was partial to anybody. His method of approach in dealing with people was very grand, I should say. For information, they were running a small post office. Somebody came and told the postmaster is taking a few pies extra as commission for the money order, other than what is prescribed from people. He said, look here, he was another monk. Now, if I were there, I would have said, sack him, put another chap. No. He said, look here, there is no guarantee that the other man may not take more commission out of it. So what you will do is, you try to find out what he does with that commission. After all, he is a monk. What is he does with it? They said, sir, he is accustomed to taking a little of tobacco powder, which is called snuff.
Yeah.
That gives them a kick. So he uses it for purchasing that. He said, look here, from this month, give him 100 rupees extra pay, tell him this is meant for his snuff, he did not take.
What is your impression about your meeting with Ma Anandamayi?
Ma Anandamayi was absolutely one with the divinity at all times. The moment you see, you find that you are yourself in that divine ecstasy so long as you are in her presence. She was such a great lady who was just godlike in her approaches and so simple.
And with Swami Shivananda, you met him?
Shantananda, I have met him well. I knew him when he was an apprentice under Shivanandaji in those days, standing by his side and all. Even those days, I knew them all his colleagues.
But it was your impression towards him?
He's a very, very good person who is full of austere habits. From the very beginning, his austerity, we call it tapasya, that austerity, that strict discipline, the life of a hermit, he has been following very well, and he is a profound scholar too. So he has done a lot of good, especially abroad, because throughout his life he has been less in India. He had been touring outside. So a number of foreign countries got the benefit of.
I want to ask you last question. First you want married man, and after you take sannyasi. Do you feel or do you think that marriage can be an obstacle for spiritual life? Or
absolutely, it is never an obstacle, because you see, after all, just like you have, you have to have food to appease your hunger. You are hungry. Similarly, sexual hunger is also something very natural. Unless a man is able to transgress it, he cannot spiritually progress well. See, at the ultimate end, that has to be sublimated. That all that spiritual love, that sexual love, has to be transmitted, has to be transformed into a divine love for the divinity. So it is not so easy. So once you have had your experience, and slowly, side by side, when you are doing sadhana, and both of you could do sadhana and help each other. See, nobody knows, she might have been more advanced in a spiritual insight than you and I. So as such, it's a question of helping the other also, and both of them going together. And it can be of great help to them. It can be of great help, I would say. Because then, now you know what that life was. And secondly, when people come to you as a monk for their solutions, all are householders, all are people with family, so they got their problems. Well, I am able to understand their problems far better than those people perhaps who are born celibates who are never married.
अच्छा, अच्छा.
So their problems, their emotional problems, their social problems, they are more easy of understanding to me, and they feel that my sympathy is genuine and I am one with them when I
So
talk to
what
them.
is your last word and message for married men in society about spiritual life?
The only thing is, be married, do anything what you want, but remember God. At least for an hour in a day, all the people together, the children, the women, all the people together, simply pray to the ultimate God. That's all. Even that is sufficient, and finally the progress will come by itself in whatever direction.
So Swami Shantananda, we was really very happy. It's a real, it's exceptional opportunity to meet you and to discuss with you and to get your knowledge. So thanks.
يلا باخد لك صورة أنت وياه.
باخد صورة ساعتها مش باخد صورة فوتوغرافية. خلاص
أنت بدك بعد؟
لا ساعتها تصور أنا بدي فوتو إيه مش ضروري يعني